What's going on, guys? Welcome back to NolanTCG, and I'm here today with Austin and his UA deck.
Hey, just going to show off the deck profiles. A few people in the comments have been asking for it, so let's just get to the deck profile.
I find this deck very, very interesting, and I really want to build it, and hopefully I can build it one day.
It's pretty budget, so honestly, if you have any bulk, you probably can build a deck, but I feel the cards are a little bit difficult because they're from older sets, but you can probably find them easily online for like 2 cents,
I was
something like that.
meaning to dig through my bulk today, and I picked up the box and was like, I'm going to look for something else.
Yeah, so to starting off the deck profile, unfortunately not one of the older ones, but UA Libero Spiker. This card fixed a lot with the deck that it didn't have enough normal summons, you only had the midfielder, and midfielder had an effect that you required to only have some UAs on the board, but this one kind of fixes that. It's another normal summon for the deck, and also it has an effect that you can like shuffle a level 5 or higher from your hand during your opponent's main phase, and you can just tag this one out back to the hand into a new UA, so that just allows you to like toolbox which UAs you want on your opponent's turn, which gives you more like reactivity on your opponent.
It's also a free special, is that correct?
Yep, so it does have that tagline, all the UAs, let's just put that out of the way. Most of them have an effect where you can just target a UA on your side of the field, return to the hand, and special summon the other one. That's obviously once per turn, so you can't do any loops or something like that.
Yeah.
So going on to the other normal summon, you only need, I believe, just one UA midfielder, because you are able to search it, and honestly, you only need one on the field for its target effect. So you can do a few shenanigans with this with the next cards I'm about to mention, but all you need to know is that you can target another UA you control, bounce it to your hand, and special summon a new one during your just a quick play effect. So you can use that to like recycle a few effects with UAs, or you can use it for OTKs basically. He's now for the utility, so UA Blockbacker. He's obviously like a defensive card. He still has the same tagline where you can tag out, and he has another effect. If your opponent would special summon monster or monsters, you can switch their battle position and negate the effects. So this works. This was during the era of pendulum summons, so they wanted to have something that would stop a pendulum summon from happening, but really doesn't do much. But it does help against a few other special summons.
Change your opponent's link monsters.
Yep,
Why
totally. Don't think about that, but usually the one you set up on your first turn, UA Perfect Days. UA Perfect Days is an omni-negate once per turn on your opponent's turn, and you just discard a card to do that. Really good. Then you have UA Rival Rebounder. He's a bit more utility. You don't have to run him, but I think he's really good in the grind game, because if you special summon during your opponent's turn, you can just monster reborn one of your UAs. Or on your turn, I think this is the biggest usage, is that you tribute summon one of your UAs, and basically you get to special summon back to the graveyard. So that helps with some of your swarming ability.
Yeah.
Then here's your big guy, UA Dreadnought Thunder. So most of the time this is the card you'll be using to end games. He does piercing damage, and every time he does any sort of battle damage, he'll destroy one card in the field.
Okay.
So with other cards in combination with that, he can get pretty beefy, and usually you can kill your opponent with it.
Yeah.
And finally, the last UA card in the deck, UA Monster. 2-player manager. He's pretty much the new boss monster of the deck. He allows you to play on your opponent's turn and pretty much brings this whole deck together. So he has 2 effects, one of them being that if you would normal summon or special summon the UA, so that could be during your opponent's turn or your turn, you special summon from the hand.
Yep.
And then after that, when you special summon, you get his other effect. You get 1 of 2 basically, but you can only use once that turn. First effect, he becomes a Dryad. Play 1 card in the field, destroy it when he special summon.
Yep.
But the other one is the more relevant one. He just says negate all other monsters on the field except for UAs for the turn.
That is nice. That is very nice.
So unfortunately against a few decks like Drytron, which have like inherent effects in the graveyard, it isn't too relevant, but I feel like you can smash most rogue strategies with this.
Yeah.
That rely on their monster effects on the field. So just for the hand traps, pretty much just free Ash, pretty standard. And the other one, Triple Dimension Shifter. I think against a lot of these decks in the current format, they have much higher ceilings. So because UAs is a bit of an older deck, you have some new support that allows you to play it, but you need something that can equalize the playing field. And this deck can play without the graveyard apart from one of the cards.
I was going to say, you are playing goods, aren't you? So do you feel as though there's conflict sometimes? Or?
Yeah, sometimes there's conflict, but I just feel like once you have this in hand, it gives you so much more advantage than what a goods would do.
Yeah.
So usually after the dimensional shift has gone away, you can just play your deck out.
Okay.
And the other one, this one's very clutch in this deck because you have so many spells to activate on the field without a monster. So you just go into Omega afterwards.
Yeah. It's always good to have power spells.
Yeah. So going into the spells, we run 3 of the OG UA Stadium, pretty insane. The second effect of search is not once per turn, but something to keep in mind is that the boost that says all the monsters on your field that gain 500, that's a mandatory effect, so you can't choose when to use that. So be a bit more careful when you're trying to do like OTKs.
Yeah.
And then 3 of the new support, so UA Hyper Stadium. Probably the reason why this deck is a lot more consistent. On activation, you can go ahead and add a UA monster from your deck to your hand once per turn, or you can add a UA Stadium from the graveyard. And as its final effect, you can reveal a field spell, so that's just any field spell. So if you really wanted to, you could start playing Mystic Might in this deck or something.
But real question is, why aren't you playing FA cards? This card says FA.
Yeah, it does say FA.
Why aren't you playing FA cards?
You could actually run Auto Navigator to searches if you wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah, so it can be a tech. I haven't really experimented with it, but other people try it out. It does work.
Extra terraformings.
Yeah. So it is an FA field spell on the deck as well.
Yeah.
No matter what. But this allows you to proc off the effect of UA Stadium twice.
Yeah.
Pretty big in terms of like card advantage, because this deck, you'd only have like one monster, get one search, and that's it. And then you pitch off of your UA Perfect Days, and at that point in time, you can just get run over. But
Yeah. You gotta really recover those resources.
Yeah.
Get that grind game going.
yeah, absolutely. And obviously, we're running a field spell deck, terraforming.
One terraforming is a
So it's
waste.
just more rares.
Yeah.
And more cards which search your deck. This one's a bit weird. UA Signing Guild. It's really good to get your high levels out, or you can just get level 4 out if you already have a high level in your hand. What it basically does is you special summon a UA from your deck, and then you pay life points in multiples of its levels if you special summon it. But its effects in the game, you cannot use it for Xyz or Synchro Suns, but you can use it for links. So if you really wanted to tech in the Isolde, this can go into it.
Okay.
And one off, Power Spell. So this allows you to pretty much close out all of your games if you can resolve it. Your UAs gain 1,000 attack, and if you were to deal battle damage, it's doubled.
So you're just dropping that onto the dunker.
Yeah,
and
pretty much use
Dunker's
the
doing
dunker.
like a lot of damage.
If you still have the field spell grit on the field, and you resolve the effect while it's on there, you get 4k.
That's game into a defense mode Drytron monster.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
And even if you can't do it into the Drytron monster, you'll probably attack the other one and potentially go for game.
Yeah.
And going into the other two UA penalty box. You can play this one at 1, but it's actually not a bad card to draw if you already have your UA set up, because you can pitch it off of UA Perfect Ace.
Okay.
And it also has a secondary effect where you can banish it to search. That's the one you do off of your Foolish Relicants.
Yeah.
In some instances as well, you don't mind setting it, because the penalty box effect to actually banish cards is super busted. It's one of the only ways that you can really out some really big monsters, like a 3500 Eldritch.
This doesn't say target, is that correct?
It's a non-targeting damage.
Yes, so this
all you
has
have to do is
Dragoon.
enter battle phase with the monster.
Yeah, you're a Dragoon.
Yeah. You can out the Dragoons if they don't negate this, but usually you use this to clear off threats,
Okay.
like Avramax, whatever.
Yeah.
And obviously, Foolish Barrel Goods
Yeah.
target.
Good consistency card.
Yeah. You just run a whole bunch of consistent cards, and you hope you see your hand traps.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Or you go first and you get your set.
Yeah.
And then 3 Plummy Dragons, you don't really care about the extra deck. And getting 2 draws is awesome.
Okay. Nice. Take us through your extra deck.
Unfortunately, this extra deck I don't feel like is very complete, but I'll just give some general advice on how to build an extra deck anyways. You can go for an Isolde package, which runs Renaud. So you'd special summon Renaud off of your Isolde, and you would send the UA equip spell,
Yep.
and Renaud would instantly get it back, so that can be an option.
Okay.
It's a bit bricky. But essentially the only relevant extra deck monsters that you have for UAs are Super Poly targets, if you want to run those,
Yep.
Omega, because you can get the hand rip potentially off
Yep.
of your own Omega. I have not had this resolve once at my locals, so I guess people aren't doing it, but
We have a lot
Maximus.
of Dogmatica players, so the Dogmatica players aren't playing Maximus.
yeah, surprisingly I've not had that resolve yet, but some other you might want to consider this. So definitely Isolde, and at this point in time, Super Poly target I guess. And at this point in time, I just use this to fill up my extra deck.
Okay, solid. But I guess these can be like other Super Poly targets.
Yeah, absolutely, or just multiples of stuff you can go into, like Nightmare, Unicorn to out your back rows.
Awesome.
I don't have a side deck here, but the advice for this deck is that It really does struggle going against control decks because you just get popped. You'll get outgrinded usually.
Yep.
You want to close out games quickly, and also against stuff like Dragoons and just big monster dot deck. At the time of the printing of this deck, there weren't many other cards that had 4,000 attacks, so the gimmick was okay. But you definitely need to side out with keeping in mind that you need to out those big monsters going second.
Imagine future-proofing all TCG exclusive archetypes.
Yeah, this deck definitely struggles a whole bunch against Dragoons and just big monster dot deck and non-targeting stuff. So just keep that in mind.
Okay. All
So
good.
Lightning Storms will help this deck.
No, Lightning Storm, good. But thank you very much for the deck profile, Austin. Hopefully this will do good and we can get a win on camera because it's very entertaining to watch, in my
Unfortunately, I'm
opinion.
playing Skystrikers today, so
Oh,
I just
no.
got this together for the deck profile.
No, you've abandoned the deck.
But I will definitely be revisiting it with the FA support stuff, so I can get a healthy Firebrax and do some
Okay.
spice stuff with that.
Nice. But thank you very much. And as always, I've been Ben from NolanTCG, here with Austin, and have a good afternoon, everybody.